few words about Claudia's experience. For the past 4 years, Claudia Șerbonuță has been managing international project with Progress Foundation, and in the past 3 years, she has been in close partnership with innovative librarians from the Black Sea region. Together, they implemented three regional projects, and today she will facilitate a presentation of the work done in Armenia, Republic of Moldova, Romania, and Ukraine by public libraries in support for building stronger democratic communities. Growing Active Citizens Hub is a project supported by the Black Sea Trust for Regional Cooperation and founded by the European Commission. I invite Claudia to introduce to us the important work done by librarians for more active communities. Hello, Claudia. You're welcome.
Thank you so much,
What do you have in the store for us today?
Thank you so much.
The floor is yours. Thank you.
So it's a great pleasure for me to be here today. And to be here, first of all, in a second session of this conference that was born by the energy that Progress Foundation put into bringing together international librarians from the region. And the second reason why I'm so excited is that this time we are actually able to be face-to-face in the same room with partners from the region with whom we've been working for a number of years in quite difficult times. And this is a team presentation. So I'm honored to introduce to you the partners, and they will briefly share their stories. And their stories are not about the sustainability that we talked in the first part and in the opening of this conference, but it's connected to that. Because as the presentations before went, the solutions that we look for our future cannot be individual solutions. They need to be community and the network solutions. So for that, we need to come together. And these great partners, the stories that you're going to hear, will be stories about the struggle that libraries, public libraries, went through to make this a reality in their own community, in their own way, based on the local needs of those communities. We're going to travel in the region. I know you travel to Bucharest, maybe for the first time, but let us take you a little bit to Armenia, a little bit to Ukraine, a little bit to other areas of Romania, and of course, to Republic of Moldova. And everyone will share a little bit of their story. Please think about questions, and if we don't have time to put the questions now, ask them in the break and tonight, because they love to tell you their stories. And before we go into that, we used throughout the project a motto, more like a mantra, that guide us in difficult moments when we had to make decisions about what we are doing, why we are doing. It's because when a library is open, no matter its size or shape, democracy is open. And the words that we've started with, it was open library, because as you heard before today, in Romania, we do have this problem of closing libraries that get closed, and that's a real problem for us. But then the size of the libraries and the shape of the libraries kind of became very profound words in our last 2 years of experience. And you'll see why from the presentation of our colleagues. So the connection with a sustainable future, it's a democratic future. I don't think we can really have or even imagine a future that can be sustainable without a strong democracy to support that, to support the voices of the people, to support the choices of the people for building a better future. So these go hand in hand, and I'm very honored to start the stories. And we're going to start the story in a very far place in Armenia. And we have here with us as you can see. Anush Aslanyan and Asya Harudyanian, who are working with the Lori Regional Library. And I will have to move so you can see me, maybe. They have been also volunteering in NGOs, in local NGOs, and their topic, when we invited them in our partnership, was we asked them to look for an issue that they think it's important. And I will let them tell us what is that issue and how they went about in just 10 months to start to address that. So please, ladies, you are our guests.
Hello from Armenia. Thank you, Claudia, for giving me the floor. I will close my camera. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who has supported us during these 10 months. I want to talk about our work, after which my colleague Anush will continue. The first activity for us was sharing Cafe Armenia, in the framework of which two of the small libraries of our themselves in front of a great audience. As a result, they talked about their work and future plans. I want to also mention that our Lori Regional Library always cooperates with them, trying to be useful in any issue. I don't want to talk long, and Anush, please. Thank you, dear Asya. My name is Anush. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. Offline 20 from all Armenia, not from only Lori regional, Lori region. And this is first time we had like that event. And we choose this book because it's like current, our life. And also we have a book for in audio version. It helps us that blind hearing problem people also can participate in this meeting. We make inclusion meeting, yes? So it was amazing. We came by agenda to have a 3 hours, but we had 5 hours because they didn't want to stop or finish this discussion. And they told each participant say their emotion, they thinking about that book. It was so amazing. And maybe in future we will repeat again because many participants say that we want to again another book and again to discuss about that. That activity in future we
NGOs. This is so good to involve many people to our goal. And also I want to say so very much thank you for this project, because how Claudia mentioned it, libraries can bring huge impact for changes in our community, something good. That's why so important, not only NGOs, all community members should cooperate with libraries too. Thank you for this program. I'm so excited, I'm so happy, and for me it's so big honor to be frame of this project. Thank you all of team members of this project, and I noticed as a small beneficiary of this project that you did this project because you love, not just it was a project for you. We feel your love through this project, and you share your love with us, and it's how to feel it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And just as Anush mentioned, of course, I forgot to tell you what we wrote in the project. It's about this. It's about the space that we are creating in our libraries for everyone in the community to feel part of the community. This is not a given. Maybe for some of you coming from Western countries, this is something that comes natural, but for democracies who are young democracies, this is not a given. This is something that we need to build, and we called it a hub for active citizens in our public libraries, and that's where the name comes. And Progress Foundation has been involved in creating these spaces for, I think, 7 years. We piloted in Romania, we tried also in Moldova, and then we came back, and now we are doing this network of libraries, because these spaces, once we create them, we have to keep them alive. And you'll hear some stories about people who did this, and I'm very happy. Thank you, Anush and Asia, for the work that you have done. This was their first participation in our project. So the other partners that you're going to hear from today have been working with us for 3 years. But our partners with Lori Library have just started recently, and they've done already amazing job. And the NGO Fest that's coming in June will be, I'm sure, a great success for them. So thank you very much, ladies. And also, I've noticed some technical problem. We did put correct numbers there, but when they transferred, somehow we lost it. So please, that's on me on technical part. And from Armenia, we are going to Ukraine. But we just talked about spaces. And we are going to Ukraine to a partner library from Luhansk Regional Library that even before we started working, they had to move because they were in an area that was occupied. And so the Lori Regional Library moved to Starobilsk region. And then this year, they had to move again because the war came after them. So working with Alexander Kozirev and the team there was a great lesson for us because in all this struggle the libraries went through to move, to be safe, they kept thinking about their community. And Alexander, please, let's talk about the work that you have done until the war caught on you. Thank you so much, Alexander. The team in Alexander's library, it's been partnering with us in the previous project. And so we knew the wonderful energy that was going on there. So it was a very hard moment for us as a team when we could not continue the work. But what I really appreciate is that, as I said before, the work that the library is doing is for the community. Because the reason we are librarians is for the community. Thank you so much, Alexander, and be safe. And Bucharest is not very far, so we will see each other soon, I'm sure about that. From Ukraine, we are coming back to Romania. And we are continuing to think about ways in which libraries can help in this area where we know that there are some health-related issues in our communities. If it's just the population who has some special needs, or it's education for health. And about education for health, we're going to have our partner from Antimi Vireanu Vâlcea Library coming to stage, Alina Nicola, and she will tell about the work done by the library.
Hello everyone. First of all, I wanted to say that I'm very glad to be here with you today, sharing beautiful stories about how public libraries can help communities to grow, to become stronger, and to build a better future for all citizens. Today, I will tell you about my work, about the local activities that Vâlcea County Library organized within Growing Active Citizens Hubs project. More precisely, about the activities related to raise the awareness among the young people from our community on the benefits of coronavirus vaccination. And we chose this topic because it was a real problem. The fact that there was a small number of vaccinated young people in our community, and also the whole pandemic context, let's say, it was appropriate, and we set 3 main objectives. First of all, we want to promote a correct image of vaccination. And after that, we want to inform the teenagers on the benefits of coronavirus vaccination. And expecting the best results for the 2 objectives, we thought that maybe it would be better to celebrate the support that we received from our partners, because it's obvious that we need some support. So we create local partnerships we had agreements, let's say, with the Vâlcea Red Cross branch and the Vâlcea Community Foundation, and also with Vâlcea Public Health Directorate. And they offer us the specialists, the professionals, the doctors, and the volunteers, which we needed to organize the information meeting at the library, or in high schools, or even in online on Zoom platform. So we had 10 information meetings attended by 350 students from our community, and each meeting was open with a presentation of the Growing Active Citizens Hubs project, highlighting the library's role in selecting and delivering the correct information, and also arguing the need of information on coronavirus vaccination from authorized sources. So the decision to get or not to get vaccinated can be taken in a very correct, very informed manner. After this short introduction, let's say, the doctor went on with a well-documented presentation on the importance of vaccination in general and focusing on the coronavirus vaccination. and explain to the teenagers how the vaccine is authorized, what are the ingredients of the vaccines against coronavirus, the importance of the concept of messenger RNA and how it works was emphasized, and dispelled the myth that messenger RNA can cause DNA, can modify DNA. So at the end of each meeting, the teenagers were encouraged to ask questions, and they also received leaflets with information provided by World Health Organization. And you can see here some photos. More photos are posted on our Facebook group page and also on our library's Facebook page. And as I told you before, we thought to celebrate the support of our partners, and we organized an NGO fest at the library. And this was not only a way to express our gratitude for their support, for their help, but it was also an opportunity to generate ideas for future collaborations. We had a workshop called an idea incubator, where the representatives of the local NGOs were asked to connect libraries' resources, let's say, in terms of trusted spaces, free to enter, open to everyone, or modern IT equipment and free internet access, or qualified staff with different skills and willing to get involved, and so on. So to connect these resources, these libraries' resources, with what every NGO was deprived, let's say. And after this exercise, they received a tool. You can see it on the right side of the slide. A tool designed to facilitate the new project ideas that we could develop in partnership. For the benefit of the community, of course. So briefly, we had 10 NGOs participated at the NGO Fest, and a lot of great ideas to future collaboration that we will certainly develop together. I think we showed by this that the library is an active part of the community, that we are playing a broad and valuable role, and that we care about all people, and we are always ready and more than happy to help them. And I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Alina. I think from seeing this, you probably guessed that we talked about social action plans, and we discussed them in our meetings. And I remember when we first put pen to paper, and our partners had to think about what issue they want to work on. I looked at Tatiana from Hâncești, Raional District Library from Republic of Moldova. And I could see that she had something in mind, but she was like, okay, so I know how I need to talk. Claudia, I know, let me do this. And of course, we let her do. And then she did some magic in Hâncești, Republic of Moldova, in her castle. She has a library in a castle. If you ever have plans to go to Moldova, I highly suggest you visit her library too.
Hello, honored audience. My name is Tatiana Dari. I work in one of the most beautiful librarians in the Republic of Moldova, which is located inside the Manuk Bey Historical and Architectural Palace. I am honored today to be present at this international conference. In short, I want to introduce you to our project called Reintegration and Resocialization of Persons Released on parole from the penitentiaries, which are in the records of the GACH Probation Office. The release of the convict from the penitentiary institution entails a radical change in his status and way of life. He manifests mental crisis of existence, stress, and maladaptive reactions. Very often, in the first month after release, new crimes are committed. This is due to the fact that the former detainee cannot adequately meet the requirements that appear before him with the release from the places of atonement of the sentences. The chance to work exists only for a few detainees and usually for a short period of time. After a few years in prison, release really becomes a matter of adjustment. The knowledge, the opinions, the rules learned in prison, the way that can save their future life become obstacle to what we call the competence of life in today's world. Therefore, we come up with the idea of implementing a project for the reintegration and resocialization of persons released prematurely from penitentiaries, which are in the records of the GACH Probation Office, which will be involved in various resocialization activities. The purpose of these activities is to establish and productively solve such problems as relationship with family and close relatives, employment, psychological support, promoting the young woman to study, information on healthy living. Activating the positive relationship of the project beneficiaries with the family and the social environment, raising awareness, increasing the communication skills of the project beneficiaries, formation of the motivation to lead a legal and pro-social way of life of the project beneficiaries, creating the motivation to look for a job and gaining the aptitude for competitive behavior on the labor market, formation of reading skills. In this project, we managed to collaborate more efficiently with local partners to identify the problems that occur in our society. We managed to integrate and socialize the beneficiaries of the probation office and the students of the construction college. From the discussion with the beneficiaries, we highlighted some urgent situations of emotional impact that were solved together with the partners. We challenged them to read and communicate through effective ways that create opportunities and facilities to integrate more easily into the community. Thank you for all.
So even though all the materials that we provided were in English, Tatiana did the extra work to keep up with everything that we did, and this is her presentation in English in an international conference, so I would like to applaud her again. Because as you've seen, the English is not a problem in being courageous. This is a hard topic for everyone, for anyone to tackle. And yet she knew she had some partners in her community, she knew there was a need, and even though it was not clear from the beginning how this will roll out, they managed as a team, because at the NGO Fest I met some of the partners. As a team, they were able to put together some solutions and to start on the road. So this is just the beginning of the partnership. And from the Republic of Moldova, we are going to Neamț, which the county library there, it's a library that has been partnered with Progress Foundation for a number of years. The Active Citizens Hub in the library has been active for a number of years. But the struggle there is to identify and continue and persevere in having some results in the issues that you identify. And Matei Chirileanu will talk about this effort that the library did during the pandemic and after. I think what is a project that just begins.
Greetings again. Many thanks for inviting us here. My name is Matei Chirileanu. I represent GETE Chirileanu Neamț Country Library. I represent my manager, Mihaela Mereuță. She couldn't come. She would have liked to be here with us because we work together as a team throughout the whole project. To be honest, I didn't think we'll get here. So it's a nice feeling that we're talking now. Okay. Yeah. Who's ready to occupy the libraries? Huh? I want to present. I want to present the context first, okay? I told you we were a team. My colleague Andrada, she's here with me. Yeah, thanks. We had a pandemic, okay, and institutions were closed. People were fearful to come in institutions because they will get sick. And then the war started in Ukraine. The context was not quite nice, okay? And then we had a brainstorming session, okay, and we decided that we will focus mainly on social inclusion. Within the Neamț County, we have some there are some schools, educational schools for inclusive education, okay, and these schools focus on children with special needs. Special needs. A lot of needs, I would say, okay, and I need to stay here. It's okay. I cannot walk around. Good. Yeah, then we thought we need to have some workshops for these guys. I mean, I think, yeah, seeing what's happening around, say, okay, this is the target group. We need to do the workshops for them, okay? And then we had some NGOs. I will talk about them later. Really quick, I will pass through this, okay? We are NGOs from the northeastern region, and we're these special centers. There we had 4 centers and a special service center in Târgu Neamț, okay? So we had Târgu Neamț, we had Roman, the school from Roman, the school from Piatra Neamț, another school from Târgu Neamț, and there was one at Ștefan cel Mare, okay? So these are all centers that you should see, you should visit, okay? They deal with problems. So this was our partners, okay, the public partners, okay, that come from the administrative sector. And then we had Wikineto and Mișcarea de Piatră. These are friends of mine. This guy, Mădălin, he's a kinetotherapeut. I think that this is how we call it. He works with people that have problems with walking, okay, with the spine and everything like this. Young people, okay, and old people. And then we have Mișcarea de Piatră. This is a guy, Cosmin, that went to India, okay, and he came back and started to do yoga classes with people around. We didn't have these concepts 7 years ago in our city. 10 years ago, these guys were not. So what we did in the NGO Fest, we say, okay, we invite these people from the centers, these kids with special needs. We invite these guys, Wikineto and Mișcarea de Piatră, to have workshops with them on special themes, okay? So we had the importance of nurturing, okay, and of posture for kids, and the importance of activity, educational physical activity while you're young. You need to develop your body. And they were really paying attention, and it was nice in the beginning to see them for 3 hours staying there, and they even did yoga at the end, okay? And of course, we had projects that emphasized, the national cultural values, because in our region, we have treasures in there, and we don't exploit, our national cultural values enough. The project was called The Folklore Brings Us Together. And all these activities, we had most of these activities we organized for the NGO Fest. One thing, we had Ukrainians we have refugees coming in our city because it's close to the border, and the mothers and children, they're housed, in administrative buildings. And we invited the Ukrainians for a concert, and then we sat together. Andrada took care of them. There was the children book section. They were quite pleased to be there, and we were pleased to have them there. And these are pictures from the NGO Fest that was on the 26th of May, This is Cosmin with the children from Casa Ozana, Târgu Neamț, they were, no, not yet. But he managed to bring them to close their minds and breathe and feel everything, and understand things about personal development. It was really nice. And then Madeleine, I told you, that's the guy over there, talked to them about the importance of movement, of sport. And we thank you we thank you, Claudia, and we thank Progress Foundation, we thank the European Union. In 1 minute, I'm gonna end my presentation. Because we're the only library from the European Union, and because of my multidisciplinary development throughout the life, I want to say some things. I've learned about subsidiarity, a concept that the European Union uses. And for the ones that heard about it, we need to use it. We need to use subsidiarity. Why? This is our logo here, You see the name of our library, and under here you see we're financed by the council, the county council. Those are the people you need to talk to, How? Lobby. We talked in the morning, We need to institutionalize lobby for this. It's really important that these are the people. How did I did this? I know the guys that are mayors, and the representatives of vice president of county council. They are our age. We grew up together. I went to them. I said, I need your help. Why? I tell you why. We need. I'm finished. We need help. And that's how we did it quickly. One more thing. Slava Ukraini. I've been at the border. At Siret. I've seen mothers, children. I say this and I'm done. Don't you stop telling your story, If we prove this as libraries, that we can help you during the war, then we can prove that we are a respectful institution. We're not a book deposit. We're respectful institutions. Thank you.
So yes, we did start the project knowing that we are a respectful institution, but what happened in the past 3 years is really showing us that we are also a resilient institution, and that we also learn, and as long as we are serving the community and we are paying attention to the community needs, and we try to learn in the process, we will continue to be these important institutions for the community. So thank you very much, Matei and the team. And now we are going to cross the river again to Republic of Moldova. And the project that Cristina Turcu will talk and Aliona Manciu implemented, coordinated as a manager. It's a project that is not the first one. And the topic is not maybe connected to what we talked already, but it's a topic that has to do with really looking into your community. Really looking into your community. And if there are things that you don't like there, what do you do?
Hello, my name is Aliona. I'm from in Moldova. Sorry, I speak little English. I pass microphone.
Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Christina, and together with Aliona, we'll represent the Ungheni Public Library in the Republic of Moldova. Aliona was the coordinator of this project, but we are very happy to be here. And our project was about gender equality at the library, and the aim of the project was to promote the gender equality by carrying out actions to change the mentality, reducing psychological barriers related to prejudice through trainings, information, and communication. Here, the local NGOs helped us a lot. And also, we want to, through this project, to promote active citizenship and men passions. As we know, the library is a public institution whose mission is to meet the needs of the community, regardless of ethnicity and gender. So the library statistics, the search was made by Aliona, shows that in recent years, the number of men participating in cultural activity is declining, and fewer go to the library. So in order to reduce this situation and create a gender balance in our library, we first of all aimed to investigate through a survey the denial of why men goes to the library less in our community. And at the same time, we tried to deduce the passions of the men from Ungheni by organizing a photo exhibition with their passions. Okay, the project gender balance in the library is a continuation of another project we have at our library. It was created in the pandemic situation, and it was called Women Can Succeed from Home. And here also the aim of the project was to promote active citizenship among women. So to have a balance between men and women in our library, especially in the field of culture, we try to implement this project about men's and their passions in our city. So to realize this project, we did the activities such as the first one was an opinion poll: why men go to the library less? And here we did this activity in our city, and a local newspaper helped us with interview the men from our community and to create the video. And this video we have on our Facebook page and on YouTube. Yes, okay. Then another activity was a discussion panel with our librarians, and we analyzed the poll. We did analyze the poll. And another activity was the photo exhibition with these men, and to help us were some local teenagers who helped us to find these men and their unusual, not unusual, but their passions. And here in the picture we have some men from our community. And we realized an NGO fest. An NGO fest. This NGO fest was in the frame of the European Cooking Fest, and we organized it at our library. And as we no, okay, sorry. Okay, through this project, we want to demonstrate, or we want to say that the library is a democratic space with equal opportunities for all, for men and for women, and it's not Thank you.
Russell.
Thank you.
So you've seen the work that was done there. And as I mentioned before, Progress Foundation has been working with innovative librarians for a number of years. But after the past few projects, we realized that even innovative librarians need support that doesn't have to come all the way from Romania, can come from local partners. So in this last project that we did, we invited as partners the National Library Association from Republic of Moldova and from Ukraine. And again, I'm not sure about library association in Western countries, but in our young democracies, national library associations are ever changing and trying to be the best version of themselves with very few resources. So then it was a real pleasure to discover two strong library associations that continue to grow. And the first one that's gonna talk is the Moldovan Library Association, where Victoria Vasilica, the executive director of the Library Association, will tell you a little bit about the work done only on this project, but please know that they are amazing work done by this association.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Victoria Vasilica. I am a coordinator of management and institutional development within the Association of Librarians of the Republic of Moldova. The association is active everywhere in communities through its members. The association operates based on the principles of democracy, freedom of association, approach from the perspective of human rights, integrity, initiative and active support of its member. The responsibility of the governing bodies to the members of the association. When we received the proposal to participate as a national partner in the growing Active Citizen Hubs project, we considered it necessary to accept the challenge because the idea of the project coincides with the priorities of association, those of contributing to the development of librarians as growing Active Citizens Hubs. Regardless of the thematic specifics chosen by the two local partners, the District Public Library from Ungheni focused their activities on promoting equal opportunities, and the District Public Library from Hâncești supports the people registered at the local probation office. Both local partners highlight the idea that the library remains the place and the institution that raises and educates citizens. During the project, association hosted two events on the platform with which there was an exchange of experience, but also the dissemination of good practices of libraries in the segment of service for inmates, but also about the action and activities carried out by Moldovan librarians to support the Ukrainian people. The activity carried out on February 22nd, Sharing Cafe library service for inmates, highlight book collection campaigns for penitentiaries in the Republic of Moldova, presented the experience of an educator from the penitentiary in Lova, Republic of Moldova, who through enthusiasm and trust in people, and he succeeded in building a library from scratch. Here I do not mean infrastructure, but the library as an institution with its three pillars: collection, spaces, and human resources. A library for inmates, a really useful event for the whole community of association members. The date of February 24 is a time that turned the world upside down, changed the values we shared, and made us all aware of what peace and life mean. we are fulfilled today as a people that during this period we have managed to support many Ukrainian people fleeing the war. As in other crisis situations, librarians in the Republic of Moldova have also taken several actions to support as many people as possible. The international event Sharing Coffee, welcoming Ukrainian refugees to Moldova, brought together several librarians who shared their activities and actions to be with the Ukrainian people and with the librarians there. At the beginning of the event, Ms. Elena Pintilei, president of association, talked about the initiative carried out in support of refugees, but also shared with colleagues from Romania, Ukraine, and Armenia the updated results of the national campaign Painting Childhood, initiated in partnership with the National Library of the Republic of Moldova. Libraries have adjusted their mission in these difficult times. This experience was shared by the National Library for Children, Municipality Library of Chișinău, District Public Library from Strașeni, and Ungheni Library. Ms. Claudia Șerbanuță from Progress Foundation moderated the event. The examples presented here are just a few of the many activities and libraries that are actively involved in supporting Ukrainian refugees, for which we thank them very much and appreciate each one of them. Active citizenship means civic involvement, responsibility, participation, and the active citizens that are active users of libraries and programs. Thank you very much for attention.
And just like with Tatiana's example, Victoria was very nervous before this talk, and I think she did a great job, so I wanted to applaud her again. All the sharing cafe that you heard in these presentations are available on our Occupy Library Facebook page. So you can go back just a few months and you will find them there. So one model of helping our partners to find some local support was through the Library Association. But there are also other models, and we're just gonna start talking about it, and I'm inviting Katerina Alexenko to start sharing the ideas and the direction in which her library in Lvov was looking at involving the community. This is, again, not the first project that we partner with. We have a long history, and from the beginning, we were quite impressed with the work that the Lvov Library was doing already in the community. We learned a lot from them before February and after February. So, Katarina, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katarina. I live in Lviv. It's a west region of our huge Ukraine. And how you know, we have a war. Russia attacks our country, and in the 2014 of February, we woke up in a horrible reality. Our city is a huge center of west region of our country. We are near border to Poland, and many internal displaced people, our Ukrainians of a different region of our country, came to us, to Lviv, for support, for shelter, for some help. And before I start this, I want to mention that our library system is huge. We have 32 branches in our city, and we have so many projects, we have so many partners, and we have, and I hope we can make it possible in future. We have so many plans Before of invasion, we start to plan with our partners a huge NGO festivals. We planned some activities to promote inclusion. We have a unique library in our system. It's Sensoteca. It's inclusive space where we show it's the most main topic of libraries. That library is the one of most unique safe space for everyone, and we want to promote this topic, these ideas for our society, for our community, because how Alexander said, in Ukraine we have some problem with people with disabilities, a problem that they have not enough possibilities to get equal education, equal rights to move on the city. And we have so many huge plans about this. But Russia attacked our country, and we have some different issues, we have some different challenges right now in the end of February, and still go on. Russia still killed our civilians, torture activists, burned our books, and it's a huge, it's a horrifying, and okay, and I want to focus on what we right now do in our libraries, and many libraries in our country. How I said before, we're a huge country, and we have some most of safe space, but you understand that we all of our country bombed, and we all have this problem that we hide in shelters, and it's interrupt our works. And what we started do, we make camouflage nets since we have since 2014, and this initiative shared other branches, and right now our spiders, our activists, our community, they create these camouflage nets for our army. Our libraries became a humanitarian center. We have a humanitarian storage in our libraries when, where people come and have some foods, clothes, and others. Next. I want to say that right now we all focus on our victory. We do everything we can on our position to make this victory close and close. And if I have some possibilities to ask you, librarians, that you right now we are in all other communities in all of the world, librarians must share truth information. They spread, check facts, and do everything possible to stop propaganda from Russia, because it's not just about Ukraine, it's about the safety of our globe. And thank you for this possibility. And I know that I have so short time, and I'm so talkative. And I just, to sum up, I just I wanted to say thank you so much for support, for stand with Ukraine. I want say thank you for our neighbor country, Romania, Poland, Lithuania, Moldova, and other European countries. It's so important that you know truth, spread this information, and we, like librarians, we must do it, because it's about our future, it's about future of the world. Thank you so much.
Besides this, Katarina also did something important. She talked about this project with other librarians. And we had these online events, we had a number of activities, and we had this very passionate librarian from Zaporozhye region who helped us with translation. We did, all the sharing cafes had live translations in Ukrainian, so we had many librarians joining our online events. And from these conversations, it came out an interesting story and a new partner in our project. So this, even the Black Sea for Regional Cooperation doesn't know that we have a new partner in the project. It's an informal partner at this point, but I'm sure it will continue to be a partner in the future, because the citizen, an empowering citizen, is something that Zaporozhye, Christina Galostov is doing in a wonderful way. So please.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina. I'm from Zaporizhia. It's in Ukraine, in eastern part of Ukraine. And I work in Zaporizhia Regional Universal Scientific Library. And briefly, I would like to tell you about our work just before the war. So we had like three main directions in our work. And the first one and very important one was like environmental protection in our Zaporizhia region, because it's industrial region and you have like so many issues on that topic. So we co-worked with local authorities, with our regional authorities, with volunteers, with like ecological activists. So we did a lot of work on that topic. Then what else? So as our region is like multicultural region, so there are so many diverse ethnic minorities in our region. So we also like did several projects on supporting their cultural development to make them like feel cool in our region, so feel free, like develop their culture. And the very, very last project before the war started, we had the project with our human rights protection organization, Egida Zaporizhia. We did the project on protection women and children from domestic violence. It was like our very, very like really huge project. We like put a lot of strength and like our soul into that project. Yeah, so I needed to, yeah, okay, good. So after February 24th, when the war started, we had and needed to quickly change our work to adapt it to new reality. And so as our area, our region, the huge part of our Zaporizhia region is under occupation now. There are a lot of people who couldn't evacuate from the occupied territory. So, and of course, they need just their education to get continued. They need just to like relax their brain and just to feel like somewhat free from what's happening. So we just started to provide online lessons for people in those areas. So I just felt that when I was talking to that people and I saw their eyes and what was like they were saying that it's so just really great to have like this connection with another world, free world of where peace is, and they said that was like really healing them. Then we, in our library, we created like educational hub for internally displaced people, for mothers and children who came who evacuated from occupied territories. So we have, you can see this in pictures. So we have different activities like art master classes. So we sing, we dance with these children because a lot of them they feel they are not emotionally not so stable. You can imagine that. So we also are in collaboration with our local Zaporizhia charity funds who also provide support for people especially children evacuated from occupied territories with disabilities. So here in this picture, you can see, so we did some activity. So again, the master class in painting we had for that children. This here, this picture, exactly this is the people from occupied territories in our region. So, and of course, we like collaborating with our local authority and volunteering with like to give humanitarian help for people evacuated. So yeah, and after the victory, our like hugest plan is to enlarge partnership network, because it's really important, especially to get strong, friendly relationship with our neighbors. And I just take the opportunity, and I just say, like Katerina, I will just express my gratefulness. I'm so grateful for everyone, every country, Romania, Poland, Moldova. Excuse me if I don't mention in other countries. I know a lot of countries help us. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, guys.
So we will have now another online guest that's coming also to tell the story from Ukraine. And this is the umbrella organization of Library Association from Ukraine. We worked with this association for a number of projects, but just in short collaboration. And we had this great collaboration in this very difficult project. So Yaroslava Soshinskaya, who's an executive director of the Library Association, has been our trusted and very close partner from way back. But I feel like these past months have been bringing us closer. And I'm sorry, this is the context in which we come closer. And one of conclusion before I pass it to Yaroslava is that we need to build the networks that Christina was mentioning early on. We don't have to wait for crisis for us to stay together in a room and discuss and share and be together. I will let Yaroslava tell the story of how her association has been involved in supporting Ukrainian communities by supporting the public libraries of Ukraine.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Yaroslava. If you can just stay with us until the end. We often had these moments in our project meetings when we just couldn't say more. Because we were together, it was a little bit easier, but it still was hard. So if there are any questions in the room, we still have 5 minutes to answer. But what often happens is that I think we need to ask questions on ourselves and decide which of the democratic value we are going to stand for today and tomorrow. Because just like Yaroslava said, this is not just about Ukraine. This is about democracy. Europe, it's a creation of its citizens. And part of the citizens are just learning about democracy, are just trying and trying and trying, and failing and trying again. This is the process of learning. It's a normal process. But for that, we need time, and we need support, and we need networks. So what Ukraine is doing now, it says, hold on, we are building something here. And what they built in the past years, it's not standing now in part of their country. But as you've seen in the presentations of Katerina, Christina, Alexander, and Yaroslava, it's standing in the people's heart. And I think that's a great inspiration for us. Because as we go back home, we might not have the perfect director. We might not have the perfect budget. We might not have the perfect road, the perfect earth, the perfect climate. But we don't have bombs. So let's go from here, not depressed, but hopeful. Because if you're ever in doubt, just send a message to Christina and say, hey, I have a hard time. And Christina will say, come on, girl. You know, you can do this. This is something, of course, I can volunteer. My country was bombed tonight, but I will volunteer to translate for you. Yes, we can do this. And then you go back and say, okay, we can do this. This is hard work. Building democracy, keeping democracy is hard work. Nobody taught us in Romania about this. And we're learning. We've been learning this in the Growing Active Citizens Hub project. And I'm going back to the motto. For us as librarians, I think this is where we stand. We need to keep our libraries open. And not just, on the paper, not just for good statistics, but open, where everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Everyone feels free to say what they want to say and have the courage to not be judged. You've seen stories about helping people with disabilities. You've heard stories about educating for health. You've heard stories about giving second chances to people whose society often don't give them second chances. And you've been hearing stories about how libraries, even when they're bombed, think about the users. So I want to say a big thank you. And how do you say thank you in Ukraine? Дякую to our partners in Ukraine, but to also our partners in Armenia, to our partners in the Republic of Moldova, and of course in Romania. Progress Foundation is honored to have you as partners. And please know that we continue to stand for you, we stand with you. And then, as I told Yaroslava before, I think we're already winning this. So if we're winning, we cannot quit, right? I want to invite all the partners from this project in front here. Come on, everyone, even the support teams from the teams. And somebody please take a picture. And just maybe come here so you can also see Yaroslava. Okay, like that. Yes. And I don't want to stay in front of you guys. Come on. So this is Growing Active Citizens Hub team, a wonderful team that has been going through pandemic, through war, and will continue to support their communities. Thank you, guys. You've been wonderful. We just need to do a final report and then think of new ideas of building stronger regional networks because we need open libraries. So thank you very much for all your time. Group hug, group hug, group hug, group hug. Group hug, group hug. Good job, guys. Good job. Felicitări. Felicitări. Good job.
Thank you, all of you. You are fantastic and fabulous. We heard about the role libraries play in building resilient communities, even under the most difficult situations. But our next speaker is inviting us to look with hope towards the future, a future of a circular economy. Dr. Samsurin Welch is co-founder and chief research officer Hive Forum and research associate Circular Economy Center, University of Cambridge GACH Business School. I will talk more about our fabulous speaker. Samsurin is a researcher, entrepreneur, and professional working in the intersection of technology, business, model innovation, sustainability, and the circular economy. He has a particular focus on the innovative potential of digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and Internet of Things in accelerating the sustainability transition. He is a co-founder of Hive Forum, a think tank with a mission to catalyze a sustainable future by bridging rigorous academic research and actionable insights for business and policy. He is also a researcher associate with the University of Cambridge Circular Economy Center. He teaches on the executive MBA and executive education programs in topics of strategy, disruptive innovation, sustainability, and circular economy. Samsurin brings over 18 years of experience across sectors including oil and gas, manufacturing, and retail. He was formerly head of digital strategy and innovation and head of enterprise architecture for Petronas, the National Oil and Gas Corporation for Malaysia. He has also founded several startups. Samsurin holds a PhD and a Master in Philosophy from the University of Cambridge, a Master in Science from the London School of Economics, and a BA from Northwestern University. Samsurin, please come in the front of this fabulous audience here in person and virtually. The floor is yours now.
Hello. Can you hear me okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. Right, lovely to be here. Yeah, if anyone wants to reach out by email, or you can find me on LinkedIn as well. And again, thank you very much for having me speak today. I always said that I'm very passionate about libraries. You know, when I was young, I used to spend a lot of time in libraries myself, and as an academic, I spent an inordinate amount of time in libraries as well. So I really, really enjoyed being able to speak to all of you today. And I see someone on the stage, but I can't see what it is. But
Yes, it's just
happy to
it's
take
me,
questions.
Sam. You've talked to me. You've talked to me on the email, and I think it's a good opportunity to share with everyone that you've been one of my supervisors in the course that I have taken in Cambridge. So that's why now everything is in the out here. So thank you so much. And I think, Sam, that your presentation is so much in line and concluding our day because we started this morning discussing about climate change and what are the effects and impact on the planet, and you finishing it with circularity and taking us to so many practical things that libraries can do. I think that's pretty amazing. So give it a good round of applause for Sam. There are about 40 people in the room, Sam, and I have no idea how many of them are online, but probably equally or more online on the Hopin platform. So if anyone has a question we have a question for you, so I'm going to take the mic.
Hey Sam, really quick. Within the and thank you for your slides, really interesting. Within the circular economy, what place does blockchain technology hold?
Okay. So I'm part of my research is actually on blockchain. I'm very passionate about this. I can talk for another half an hour about this, but I'm not going to let me. So blockchain, fundamentally, blockchain is a way to enable multiple actors to collaborate together around trust and shareability of information, and also incentivize certain behaviors and enable people to participate in a new economic system, right? So one way, for example, that blockchain can play a role is visibility on information about materials and resources and assets and so on across the supply chain. So if you're trying to, for example, track and see whether materials are moving across a supply chain in a very circular way, what can be recycled, what cannot be recycled, has been sourced sustainably. That's one way that we can apply blockchain to enable multiple actors across the supply chain to collaborate. Another way, some of you may know, Plastic Bank is a very popular example that's been publicized quite a bit. What they do is they use blockchain as a way to incentivize people on the ground to actually go and collect plastics and be rewarded for it, right? And they use blockchain as a way to provide the rewards, but also what they're going to do next is also use blockchain as a way to prove the provenance of where the plastics come from. So if you want to say that I've taken these plastics and I've turned them into new products, for example, how can you prove that provenance along the way? That's another thing that can be done. So I think it's very exciting. What I would say always is that blockchain, like any technology, you got to look at what's the footprint behind it, what kind of energy consumption, all these things are obviously just like any other technology you have to think about. And the last thing I'll say, if I may, is what's interesting is how we combine blockchain with other technologies. So blockchain with IoT, blockchain with machine learning, and when we combine all these things together, we find some really super interesting use cases. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Any other question for Sam? You know that I think this is your PhD, isn't it? Looking at blockchain and artificial intelligence. And any other question for Sam? They're thinking some. Okay, so that was it, Sam. I have so many questions for you, but I'm not going to start them now. You know why? Because I can always write them. So thank you so much for taking the time and be with us today. I never know where the camera is, so I hope, yeah, that's where the camera is. So thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a privilege to have you here and seeing that the library communities from Eastern Europe, but also everywhere else in the world, because we have
here colleagues from Africa and from the rest of Europe and the US. So we're so happy to have a friend in you. And thank you so much for accepting to talk to us today. And have a good day after this presentation.
Thank you very much, everyone. Lovely. Thank you for having me. Again, do feel free to reach out if you want to talk more, have any questions. And I understand that you have some dinners and parties planned. Do enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, so I'd like to invite Andrea back,
Yes.
our MC.
Because before closing, we have to thank next library and Goethe Institute, Bucharest, Occupy Library Steering Committee, partners and sponsors. We are grateful for the support given for this International Formative Funky Fab conference to happen. Thank you, dear participants. Thank you for being with us here in person or virtually. Thank you for your attention. See you tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern European time with new subjects, with new speakers and special guests. Until then, follow Occupy Library on Facebook and visit the website www.occupylibrary.net. So goodbye, all dear participants, and enjoy Bucharest for you.
But we're saying goodbye to the colleagues from the Hop-In platform, because those of you who are here, please stay for one more minute. We have some important information to communicate to you about the fabulous, funky, formative dinner.
Yes, and Occupy Libraries, act sustainable and be responsible. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you. So are we between ourselves now? Have we closed Hop-In? I'm just, yes, okay, now we gossip. Sorry? Act responsibly, don't gossip. So we have a very important message for you, and the message is right here on the screen. And the message on the screen, if you take out your phones and place your phones and try to look at the image, that image is going to take you to the restaurant where we will meet tonight. So it's really important that you do something with it. We have a group, WhatsApp group, for in-person participants. And if you want to be on that group, I'd like to ask you to contact my colleague Alin. Alin is in the back. He's the only one wearing suit. Our diplomat, as we call him. So please reach out to Alin, and Alin will make sure that you are in the WhatsApp group for the participants who are attending this conference in person. And in that group, you will find the same thing that we put for you here. Any questions? We will meet. Please be at the restaurant. The hour is important, otherwise we are hungry. We won't leave anything for you, joking. So please be at the restaurant at 7:45. So 15 minutes before 8. Any questions? Any answers? Right, so we will see you tonight at dinner. Be prepared to be entertained. Drink, because tomorrow we start afternoon, so that's it. So thank you and see you at dinner. Bye.